I must confess to Zai, Perez visited his room yesterday, prompting Zai to imagine an epic romance. Tolly now sees Zai as excited as a child. Tolly advises him to re-examine Smoke City's existence. Cable's advice clearly impacts him, prompting him to try to make Zai a spy. Zai doesn't argue. He thinks Tolly has ample time to explore tobacco's mysteries and advises patience. Tolly can only accept Zai's wise advice. Next day, Tolly wakes up to find everyone busy. Curious, he asks and learns the place he was at yesterday caught fire. David explains Orchid City is toxic, with poison seeping into soil like an uninvited guest. Tolly can't help but retort, thinking, orchids are supposed to be the cool guides for teenagers, right? David replies, a bombshell that shatters Tolly's worldview. To convince Tolly, David takes the unprecedented step of letting him check it out himself from the sky. Zai guarantees for Tolly, then boards a super cool solar fighter. Tolly sees orchid growth during flight. The final growth spot became wasteland. At David's word, Zai ignites a blaze. Suddenly, thick smoke billows. People ready to storm, but sense something's wrong. The enemy's allies are clearly closing in. Subtitles, David readies for emergency evacuation, but Zai won't land in the burning flowers. David notices altitude plummeting. Tolly has to use the cable from the plane and rushes to the rescue while the aircraft is starting to nosedive. Tolly frantically searches for Zai, finally managing to grab hold of his feeble form just before they plunge into oblivion. Twirling the rope, David orders his crew to get on the plane pronto, and as it reaches a safe altitude, Tolly and Zai finally escape. Crew notices that Tolly's arrival brings trouble, and starts to question his true identity. David steps in and defends Tolly, arguing that his heroic act to save Zai proves he's a person of integrity. Faced with their trust, Tolly feels like an ant on a hot pan, wanting nothing more than to escape. Ultimately, he saves Zai, breezed through challenges, and entered Smoke City wearing an eye patch. Here, everyone's busy planting crops, money is out the window, and bartering is the only game in town. Tolly is surprised that everyone treats this new face like he's a celebrity. As Tolly gets the hang of how Smoke City works, he tries to sneak off to find the secret weapons. But little did he know, Zai's thoughts interrupted him, and slowly Tolly integrates into the life of Smoke City through hard work. Here he experiences the spicy joys of depression food, and having never had spicy before, Tolly is left dumbfounded. Suddenly, David stands up, breaking the serene atmosphere as he vents a lot of his inner weapons. He calls on everyone to work together to prevent disaster, and Tolly gets swept up in the group's energy. Suddenly, he realizes it's so much easier not to judge a person by their looks. David notices that Tolly's hands are all scraped up from work, and gives him a pair of gloves like a true friend. Suddenly, a crowd comes rushing by, clearly in a hurry to escape the fiery chaos. Tolly realizes these folks are no ordinary scouts. They move like superheroes. To take care of their injured buddy, Sig and Tolly go fetch water, but Tolly notices he's now wearing David's gloves. Is it possible David has a crush on him? Tolly finds himself at a loss for what to choose, and after several days of contemplation, resolves to ask David about the secret weapon. David opens up without a hitch, bringing Tolly to meet his biological parents, and Tolly stands there flabbergasted. They underwent a procedure and adulthood to become who they are now, leading to a growing chasm in the parent-child relationship. For Tolly, seeing a family with such similar faces for the first time is quite a novel experience. Moreover, David nonchalantly introduces his favorite girl to his parents, while Zai makes sure Tolly is in good hands, hoping that his parents will spill the beans about the secret weapon, witnessing the son becoming more relatable. David's parents used to be cosmetic surgeons. Now they have a greater mission at hand. Tolly listens in shock, realizing the truth behind plastic surgery is way more convoluted than he thought. What's even scarier is that those who undergo such surgeries often carry a deep sense of emptiness within. Tolly finds it unbelievable, while David reveals terrifying truths that the surgery only erases one's true self. The committee forms due to the investigation of the surgery, which is just another day at the office for David's parents. They'd rather accept the reality of aging and losing looks than manipulate others' destinies. David's parents have been tirelessly searching for an antidote, and they're just one step away from completing it. A synthetic compound can cure this fatal disease, but an ultimate weapon is needed to fight the enemy. David's parents attempted substitutes and proposed using beauties for trials, but the couple refused this risky offer. Given the brain's complexity, side effects might include epilepsy or even death. After learning the truth, Tolly feels a mix of emotions. In a battle of emotions, he takes off his necklace and tosses it into the bonfire. Subtitles. He wanted to discuss his inner ugliness, yet David's kiss completely turned the situation around. What Tolly didn't see coming was that Cable had a backup plan. If something goes wrong, it sends out a distress signal.